So I'm here today with Gerald Ann, and we're talking about the spiritual path. And I think both of us have had some challenges recently and have been in a place where we've had to step back and explore more of what really is the next step for us. So Gerald Ann expressed an interest in exploring the most beneficial direction for her that relates to her soul's plan. So we all come with a plan. We aren't necessarily aware of what it is. But if we can take a look at that and look at the soul's plan and get ourselves going in the most beneficial direction for ourselves, what could be better, really? And it seems like a perfect time for you too. You're talking about having stepped back and wanting to really draw on yourself, the strength within yourself for your next steps.
Absolutely.
Right. So would you want to say any more about that before we go into a process?
No, I really can't think of anything I want to add. I need to kind of wake up, see what's next.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is a combination of some visualization techniques with tarot reading, which is kind of a unique thing. And to begin, I'd like to start with the visualization and to get you onto your soul's path. Now we can just start by closing our eyes and focusing in on your breath, knowing that you are surrounded by the love and the light of the universe, and just breathing in some of that love and light and releasing as you exhale any energy that's not serving you now, as we open more to your soul's plan and path. And as you do that, just asking any energy that is not your own to leave your space now. We pick up other people's energy, and this is something I think you were mentioning. We pick up energy from other people, other times, other places. So you can just ask all of that to go back where it came from lovingly. And also we leave bits of ourselves in other times and places. You can just ask for any energy of your own that you can bring back to yourself now to do that too, so you can experience more of the fullness of who you are in this moment. And how does that feel, Gerald?
Feels really nice and peaceful.
Oh, good. Good. And so now we want to take a little journey. And what I'd like to do is have you imagine that you can go to your spiritual path on a higher plane. It's the path that your soul designed for you before you were born. You can just go there and see yourself where you are now on that path. You may find yourself rising up. Just, I'm not sure what it will be for you. You'll find the perfect way there. So why don't you allow that and let me know what you experience.
Really interesting because I did go up, kind of up into the kind of in the outer spaces and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I see this sign on this road, like the cosmic highway, if you will. And it says,
sorry about
spiritual,
that.
spiritual rest stop.
Interesting, yeah. Spiritual rest stop.
Yeah, it's like you see the rest stops on the side of the road.
Yeah.
You're traveling, but this is a spiritual rest stop, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's like people are being pampered and just relaxing, and there are people having picnics, and there's angels everywhere. There's just like, I'm not the only one there. There are a lot of people there, and it's a place of revitalization, refreshing, relaxing. It's really quite it's really quite beautiful. It's like kind of like a resort, a retreat, if you will.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It's like this spiritual rest stop on the cosmic highway. It's very cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And from there, do you see the path you might be off of at the rest stop? Do you see the spiritual path near you that you can go back onto when you're ready?
Yeah. I can. It does. It reminds me so much of rest areas that I've stopped at.
Right.
And, you know, someone is my guides in that are talking to me, and it's like, yeah, you've done really good. This was a really good time for us to step back and to just decompress and to withdraw from everything, which was good, which was really necessary.
Right.
And so they're saying, you know, it's time to start to kind of dip my toe back in. They're cautioning me to, I have a tendency to jump in with both feet, if you will. And just like I've kind of, I eased my way into this rest area. I kind of limped into the rest actually. You know, they're telling me you don't need to put your foot to the floorboard and zoom off.
Right.
That slow and steady wins the race, if you will. But that, yeah, it's time to start thinking about packing up my vehicle and heading back out on the road again.
Okay. So as you're preparing to head back out, would you like some insight from the angelic wisdom tarot?
Yes, I absolutely would.
Okay. And this actually, it's called Angel Wisdom Tarot. I'm just going to put it here, Angel Wisdom Tarot we're going to use. And the method that I'm using, I start with a reading of the major arcana. This is for where you are now. And insights on your next steps.
Okay.
So we'll do, and that the major arcana is like the big pattern, kind of like the large overview of what's happening. And what I have here is interesting, the Emperor. And that is card number 4 of the major arcana, and the angel is Archangel Michael. It says logic and organization will increase your success. Take charge of the situation. Accept a leadership role. And this is an overview on the card, which shows, actually, it shows Archangel Michael with his sword of light there. And what I'm going to do is just look a little bit at what it says in the book. And the important thing is not really what I think. The important thing is what it triggers in you, like where the aha moments are. And that's what we're focusing on here. So it says Archangel Michael is here with the world in his hands. His sword of light will help you release anything getting in the way of your success. Meanwhile, back at the castle, the emperor is taking care of business. He loves the empress and her creative chaos, but he also knows that chaos can be successful for only so long. Eventually, there's got to be a little discipline, a little organization. Okay, he'd say a lot of organization. This is the card of leadership and carefully planned strategy. Does any of that resonate with you? Or?
Yes, it does. Totally. Totally.
So what do you?
Well, I I really haven't had any discipline because I just stepped away, and before I had routine. I would have a routine of my type of meditation, just a kind of a way of moving through the world in a more conscious way. That's really in my aha moment. I'm not moving through the world in a conscious way, in a so there's no real organization. I actually have had no organization other than my physical world of, paying bills and doing that very 3D day-to-day stuff. Or discipline, spiritual, what I would consider spiritual discipline, whether it's meditation or anything of that nature. Because organization, none, because I haven't done anything I stepped away from teaching. I stepped away from doing any shows. I've stepped away from everything. So there is there's been no need for organization, but there has been no spiritual discipline either. Okay. As far as staying in touch with my souls, doing the meditation, spending time every day. And that's been kind of in the back of my mind lately of what we eat, what we think, how we meditate, how we start our day, how we end our day.
Right.
I've kind of been flying by the seat of my pants.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it seems to me that they're basically saying, okay, this was good what you were doing, but it's time to focus again. It's time to come back to your spiritual essence, your spiritual core.
Yeah,
and that requires discipline.
Right. Yeah.
It requires to be more organized. It requires to be conscious and thoughtful.
Right.
How we begin and end each day and what we do throughout.
Right. Yeah. So the next part of it is I'm going to draw a card from the minor arcana cards. And this is the day-to-day detail. So it should go more into detail with what we've been discussing.
Okay.
And the card I have here is 7 of Fire, which is interesting. I don't see this very often. It says, stand up for yourself and your beliefs, have confidence, challenge those in power, but also choose your battles wisely. And it shows a woman with surrounded by swords. I can look a little bit what it says in the book. And this one relates to the Archangel Ariel. So we are 7 of Fire. And it's interesting because it does resonate with the other one too. It says, the time has come to stand up for yourself. Don't let others create self-doubt or talk you out of what you know is right. For you, at least. You know exactly what to do, and your thoughts and feelings are perfectly accurate. Don't back down. This isn't a time for compromise. This is a duality card, so it carries the message of choosing your battles. I think the other one mentioned that too. I think something about. I don't see that, but that's okay. About where you want to focus your energy and what's important to you. It says, listen to your intuition and your instincts. If this matter is extremely important to you, then stand your ground. If it's just sort of whatever, don't waste your energy. And don't allow people in power to intimidate you. Assert yourself. Does that resonate in any way with you?
It totally does. And I find it really fascinating that it's 7 of Fire, because my life path is a 7 and my expression is a 7. And my sign is a fire sign.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
When you
it's
said that, it
connecting
was
with
like,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
It,
So,
all of that makes sense.
mhm. So with all of that in mind, what I do then typically is I draw a third card. There's, and this is kind of the action plan. I have this other deck. It's the Archangel Power Tarot.
Oh yeah, I have that deck.
You have that one?
Yeah, I do.
And this one, it is really about taking action. So we're preparing to see what's going to happen at your spiritual rest stop with these insights and
Yeah.
some a help from the angels. Oh, this is, oh wow. This one is number 10, the wheel. This makes me feel like crying. With Archangel Jeremiah, I'll tell you that later. New beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. And Archangel Jeremiah, are you familiar with Jeremiah?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Right. He's all about life path and gaining clarity on your path. So this one and your direction, it says exciting changes are coming. The wheel spins with the power of life and turns to bring you prosperous new opportunities. If you're finding it difficult to get your plans off the ground, that will change now. Sudden movement forward is likely. What it makes me think, does that resonate, by the way?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I've been connecting quite a bit with Jeremiah myself recently, and he's just a beautiful, beautiful, to me, archangel. And this is the card.
I love it. I'm gonna have to I'll pull it out of my deck.
Yeah, yeah. Anyhow, what I thought might be a nice next step is to invite Archangel Jeremiah to join us, and while you're in the rest stop there, and to guide you for your next step to get on really your most beneficial soul's path. So can you see yourself back there at the rest stop now?
I can.
Okay, so I'd like to invite Archangel Jeremiah to join us and just feel ourselves being surrounded with his beautiful, beautiful light, spiritual light and energy. And from there, just imagine yourself preparing to go back onto the highway, the spiritual path, with the support of Jeremiah, and let me know what you notice with his support.
He's saying to me, it's time to go back to the basics. It's time to, I've had this time of stepping away, taking a break in the rest area, the oasis, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not starting over, but it's starting back with that firm foundation. I keep hearing foundation, go back to the foundation, go back to the basics. So that means, get organized, follow a routine, a discipline of spiritual action.
Mm-hmm.
I've been all over the place, and go back to that, having even if it's just 5 minutes in the morning of just sitting with myself first thing in the morning. Be more conscious of, what I'm taking in nutritionally. I'm working physically on healing my lungs and that's come along beautifully. Now it's time to add some discipline to bring up my stamina and start building myself back up. And I keep hearing, slow and steady wins the race. I have a tendency, like I said, to jump in with both feet and to just take off. And that's worked in the past, but this is not the time for that. This is the time for, it will move rather quickly because time is moving very quickly right now. But to take it one step at a time, I have a tendency to jump ahead. So take it one step at a time. And by going back within, by reconnecting with his help and with my guides and reconnecting and doing that, it's all going to unfold. I do have faith. I do trust that this has been perfect for me. That I needed this time.
Right.
That the opportunities, when we are all in for our highest good and we're willing to walk our path, the doors will just open.
Right.
As I move along, and to just follow my passion. My passion is my spiritual work, but starting here within, and what comes in from out here it has to start here.
Right.
Inside my soul, and to go back to that.
Yeah.
And to get my physical self back up, and to look at it just like I'm organized, just as if I were organizing a business. To organize each aspect of self with the goal, because for me the whole goal is my spiritual self. That's why I'm here.
Right. Yeah. And Jeremiah, by the way, comes in with beautiful amethyst energy.
Yes.
So you might imagine you're in the rest stop and you're going back onto the path with that amethyst light surrounding yourself with it, and allowing it also to clear anything you need to clear still in your body, maybe any of the levels of your energy field. And then imagining that spiritual path, just filling it with that amethyst energy going forward and also in the past.
Yeah.
And what do you notice from that perspective as you look forward on the path?
I'm hearing from the Wizard of Oz, follow the yellow brick road. But it's an amethyst road. Amethyst road, yeah. Yeah.
How does that feel to you?
It feels really good. It feels, the word solid. The word solid comes to mind. There's a comfort in there's a strength in the past. I use the word solid, but it's solid, it's strength, it's my strength will come from the discipline, from the organization, from starting with the solid foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my strength comes from. That's it. That's what it is. Thank you. My strength comes from that solid foundation, from starting back at the basics and moving forward
Mm-hmm.
from basics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wonder also if you'd like to invite Archangel Michael to join us too, because he brings in that power and strength to follow our path. So we can invite Archangel Michael also to join us. And he comes in often with a beautiful electric blue energy, strong, powerful.
He's with me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Call him in
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
And what does he say as you stand there on your path to the future now?
He's saying that this time that I've taken has built my strength up in ways that I have yet to discover. That there have been moments on since I've stepped away that I felt like I questioned whether I did the right thing or okay. So this is a phrase that I've loved for a very long time. And he's reminding me of the phrase that the essence of a true spiritual warrior is one who knows when to retreat in strength. And he's reminding me that I did indeed retreat in strength, but not a but. And by doing so, now I can move forward once again in strength. But we all come to those places where that it's necessary for us to retreat in strength, and that it takes true strength to retreat at times. Sometimes
right.
I would look at it as a weakness or a not a lack, but a
deviation.
Yeah, a negative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just that, I would question it or I'd beat myself up.
Mm-hmm. A weakness, kind of.
Yeah, weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying not at all. In fact,
right.
This time has given me the ability to regroup and to heal my body physically, which is really important because it was my lungs and is my lungs and my throat, my trachea, my heart, and in healing that makes me strong again physically. And I will need my physical strength as well as my spiritual strength to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been right there with me the whole time. I've been asking for his protection on a daily basis.
Wow.
And I have behind that plant right over there on my wall is the shield. I painted the shield of Archangel Michael, the protection.
Wow.
And so I don't do anything without asking him to come in and reinforce and all of that all the time. So, wow. Yeah.
So with that, looking forward, what do you see in the future? What does your future look like?
It feels strong. It feels very, very strong.
You have an amethyst path.
Yeah. I know that I will be teaching again. Discernment, the word discernment really is coming up a lot. The one thing I know for sure that I'll be doing again is teaching.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And my physical plan for my future will really enable me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's showing me that all of these things that I'm doing with the tiny house and getting that prepared for me to eventually live in, and what I'm planning to do with the property long term, at least for the next 5 to 10 years or whatever. It's not like it's like for the next whatever, however many years. But that's it's like I've been healing my physical body, but as I've been doing that, and I've been thinking, and I want to thank them, because I've been so up in the air about, when Sam passes, where am I going to live? How am I going to support myself? What am I going to do? And literally in the last 2 weeks, actually, maybe it's been kind of coming, but in the last week, it was as if they threw this aha bomb into my head, and I went, oh my gosh, it's been sitting in front of me this whole time. And it's as if everything went click, 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 click into place, so that at least initially I have the way to do everything that I'm going to need to do until any time comes. It could be forever, but I don't see
Right.
it.
You don't have to plan. We don't have to plan forever
Right?
today.
but it's right, exactly. But it's like, this is the next phase of your life. This is how you're going to move forward when that time comes. And this is how you're going to be able to keep doing what you came here to do until it changes and it's no longer the way you need to do it. But
Right.
you don't have to worry about that anymore, because that was, even if it wasn't in the forefront of my mind, it was in
there.
the back of my mind. How am I going to
move forward? Yeah.
How am I going to follow my path? How am I going to fulfill my path? How am I going to support myself, et cetera, et cetera? That needed to be there for me to work on. So it's like right now I'm doing all of the physical things, the healing things that I need to do. And this was the piece of the puzzle I still didn't have yet, was my spiritual path, where, I've got all these things falling into place. Now, how does my spiritual path fall into place? And I have a very clear, at least for now, this is the foundation. This is where I need to start. This is where I need to start with meditating. And it was a very kind, gentle reminder and awareness that you all, thank you, have given me here today.
Yeah.
Powerful.
And the wheel, just the wheel of fortune, or the wheel, I should say, the wheel, by the way, number 10 of the major arcana, is traditionally, it's called the wheel of fortune. And the wheel of fortune generally designates a change, as this one says, new beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. It's a change, and it's usually a change for the good, in a positive direction. So, and Archangel Jeremiah is a very powerful angel for just clearing anything that needs to be cleared to be able to go down your soul's most beneficial path. So that's something to keep in mind too. I've been connecting with him at night. That's why I felt kind of teary when I saw that, because I just have recognized. He's often thought of to be more subtle, and people don't recognize him as much. But I've been connecting with him and asking for healing of anything that might be blocking my path and helping me to be clear in recognizing my path. So the fact that that came up, it's like, wow, that's an amazing card that came up.
I'm just
Beautiful.
making that note.
Yeah, that's something you might want to just connect.
Blocking my
Yeah.
path.
Yeah. And he also is an angel that's recognized for his, well, his specialty is the 6 chakras, so recognized for helping you to open to your intuitive gifts.
Okay.
And that would help, that would also be part of your new direction, to just opening intuitively to the right, what's right for you. So it feels, that's a beautiful, beautiful reading, I think, those 3 cards.
It really is. It's just, it's exciting. It's very exciting to me. It's a very affirming, and the timing has been, so the timing is perfect.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's been so much that I've been focused on that needed to be focused on before I could even look at this. That's why it was really interesting when before we met, and I was asking my guides, and I was sitting down with them and saying, okay, so I kind of been working on the spiritual, but I asked each one is, should I be looking at the physical? Nope. Should I look at the emotional? It's like, no, not really. The mental. No, you're kind of getting a handle on that too. Okay, it kind of leaves the spiritual, which is truly the one thing I had to put on the back burner to get everything else done.
Right.
And it's not that it wasn't there. It's just that it was not my focus. It was not my priority.
Right.
And I even found me, I'm a voracious reader. I watch videos all the time. I had to step away from all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I kind of intuitively knew, but I kind of needed it to be confirmed. So yes, thank you. This was really, there wasn't any part of it that it just kind of like, wow, yeah, it makes complete and total sense. Just
right. Yeah. It amazes me how that works, but it does seem to. And this morning when I was thinking about it too, which was, I had no idea where we were going to be going. It could be anywhere. And
right.
I was thinking your soul's plan. And there we were. It was just
there it is.
all there for us. So
because if you and my soul's plan is, my life path is a 7, which is spiritual. My expression is spiritual. Like 7s are all throughout all my numbers,
right.
So
yeah.
That's really the one thing I haven't been looking at.
Right. Well, and it wasn't time, like you said.
No, I was in that cosmic rest area.
Right. Yeah. But that's beautiful. I mean, that the whole thing was really beautiful.
I know. It was like you said, you can go anywhere. And I found myself going up, and it was kind of like, remember the Jetsons, how it was kind of like, that's kind of what it felt like. And I was off in this, and I could just, it said spiritual rest area. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at it and I went, oh, this is really nice. And there were just people just chilling out, and waterfalls, and just like all kinds of really neat things. And everybody was kind of being healed in different ways.
Right. Yeah. And that's the appropriate thing.
Yeah. Very, very pampered in that. And it's like, okay, so you're in the rest area, and now it's time to go back out on the road again.
Right. I'm curious of one other thing, Geraldine. if you imagine yourself there on the path again, and you have your path going forward, if you look at the past, what do you see on the path that has led you to this moment?
Can you define that a little bit more? What came before the spiritual?
Yeah, it's like your past is laid out before you, and your past is extending behind you into the past. So I'm just curious how you see that past now from this perspective of where you are and where you're going.
Well, that is really interesting because we've done different visualizations in the past. And when I looked back, it was kind of rocky and everything else. I don't see that at all. But I do see, like, I would assume it'd be kind of like if you're looking down on cities like Los Angeles or somewhere where like there's just interstates and roads and everything that are one going over another and this and that and everything. And different destinations at each one, very different towns. Like there's some towns, there's some cities, there's stretches of not desert, but just kind of more desolate kind of areas. It feels like, say you were to take off on one side of the country or the world and take this journey, and you get on a lot of different roads, and every road takes you to a different type of town or a different culture, a different experience. And that's what it looks like from behind. But it feels really good. And some of the areas that the roads go through are a little bit rougher, and some of them are kind of look kind of treacherous, and some look more really like an oasis type. There's everything. But it's all of those different roads and all of those different places and all of those different experiences that got me to the rest area. It feels, even the places that maybe weren't quite so nice, still got me to this oasis. But what's really interesting is I see a lot of different roads in front of me. But there aren't any, like when I look behind me and I see some of the roads, some of the neighborhoods, some of the places that I've been that weren't so nice, they were really kind of scary and dangerous. Okay. But when I look ahead, I don't see danger. I see beauty. I see different, like this road might take me to this type of beauty, or might give me this experience in this road. But I don't see any treacherous areas in front of me, per se. I see, that doesn't mean that there won't be some challenges, like maybe some rough terrain, but I don't see the type of, like bad parts of town that you really wouldn't go through if you had a choice, I don't see that. I see some challenges, but I don't see.
Well, of course, challenges are part of the experience.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't see that really heavy kind of darkness that I can see behind me.
Yeah. And with Archangel Michael and Jeremiah and all your other angels and guides,
Guides, yeah.
they'll be there to help you to make the right choices, right?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of almost feel like it's a rebirth.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Of
Yeah.
sorts. I don't think I've really sat and thought about what I've done over the last month or two. I don't even know how long I've been in this place, but at least a month, if not more, and probably a couple months. And I just haven't, I really haven't, other than really working on my physical self, I haven't really, I have a tendency to kind of dissect everything, like
Right.
kill a little bit, but I haven't really done that to that degree. I just kind of, I am being, just being and healing. And I just kind of like waking up and putting one foot in front of the other every day. And I didn't realize I was at such a big crossroads until we started doing this. And it feels like I'm stepping into a new life, like it's a new phase of my life. There's going to be a period of organization, of finding kind of a way to kind of getting some, I don't know, what's the word? Not organization, but kind of, gosh, I'm just completely drawing a blank on routine, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Up with a routine and that's kind of like this next little phase, is to come into some type of a routine, which is actually it's kind of like the on ramp. The routine is the on ramp back to the road.
Right. Yeah.
And once I get that down and play with that and get that, then I will be on the interstate or the cosmic highway or whatever it is.
Right.
But right now I'm kind of on that ramp, and the ramp is getting a routine and getting up to speed. That's it.
Right. Yeah. Getting up to speed. Yeah. Sounds great for the cosmic highway. Sounds great. Well, thank you, Geraldine. That was really beautiful.
Thank you, Jane. This was lovely.
Wonderful.
Wow. I feel so different. Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted. And it all makes so much sense too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
I'm excited.